I think it should be a landslide. And I believe that Trump should win every toss-up state.
Everybody, today we're going to do a deep dive into something that I think is really relevant to all of us.
Yeah.
And it's this idea of how language, and I'm talking about rhetoric, especially exaggerated rhetoric, can be used and sometimes misused in media and public discourse. And we're going to be looking at a concept called literal hysteria from the book by Tom Coffey.
All right.
So basically what we're going to try to understand is, how can this impact you as a listener?
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept, this literal hysteria. It's basically this tendency to take these exaggerated claims that we hear and interpret them as literal truths.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it leads to outrage and controversy.
Yeah, and I think the important thing here that Coffey is saying is that it's not always just a simple misunderstanding.
Right.
It's not just about people being gullible.
Yeah.
There's this deliberate misrepresentation that's going on, and it's used for very specific gains.
Exactly. And he uses this great example, the drain the swamp phrase that's often used in politics. Right.
And instead of people seeing it as a metaphor for cleaning up corruption, they take it literally as, oh, we're going to fire everyone in government.
Yeah.
And you can imagine what kind of chaos that would cause.
Yeah. And it seems like this weaponization of rhetoric, something that, on the face of it could seem relatively harmless, can really be amplified. And I think especially today where we're just bombarded by information 24/7.
Absolutely.
It's really easy to fall prey to this kind of manipulation.
It is. Yeah. I mean, think about it. You're scrolling through social media.
Yeah.
You see this shocking headline.
Right.
And boom, you're outraged before you even know the full story.
Yeah. You're not even really processing it.
Right.
You're just reacting.
Yeah. And I think that's where the media really plays a big role.
Right.
You've got this 24-hour news cycle.
Right.
And this constant need to grab your attention.
Yeah.
It's like this outrage economy.
Yeah. Where sensationalism sells. So, media outlets might be incentivized to actually twist statements to make them sound more extreme.
So, for example, if a politician says something like, we need to rebuild this country from the ground up.
Right.
What might that look like through the lens of...
Yeah, it could be really scary because, instead of this being a message of reform and progress, it could quickly become this fear-mongering headline about destroying existing institutions.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're worried that you're going to lose everything you hold dear just because of this one carefully chosen
that's scary.
turn of phrase.
And this idea of manipulation, this has real world consequences.
Oh, absolutely.
This isn't just some theoretical thing that we're talking about.
It leads to rash judgments, impulsive actions, and I think a really distorted understanding of reality.
So Coffey is saying that this literal hysteria, it's not just loaded to politicians.
Oh, no, not at all.
It applies to anyone who's in the public eye.
Yeah. Think about it. A CEO says that their company's going to change the world.
Right.
Which is a pretty bold statement.
It is, yeah.
But it's probably more about their aspirations than a literal plan for world domination.
Right.
But through literal hysteria, they might get accused of being power hungry or overreaching.
Yeah, it's almost like people are looking for a reason to be outraged.
All right. So here we are again, folks. Knee deep in the literal hysteria where every headline is a 5-alarm fire and every Trump soundbite gets the full CNN doomsday treatment. The media is doing it again, treating every word out of his mouth like it's a court affidavit. Come on. This man is not writing a binding contract. He's giving a pep rally for his vision of America. But somehow we're acting like he's signing executive orders with his rally speeches. The guy could say, we're going to do things bigger than ever. And suddenly you've got journalists clutching their hearts, warning us all of America's going full imperial. Trump says, we're going to fix the country. And before you know it, they're on air practically reading us his blueprint for a dictatorship. It's as if they don't realize that this guy speaks in slogans and metaphors. He's not sitting down with a whiteboard to map out his 12-step program for world domination. And this is why I call it literal hysteria. The media is in such a frenzy for clicks. They treat every puffed up line from Trump like it's a verbatim roadmap. We've seen it all before. He'll make a wild promise, and the media responds with, "Can you believe he said this?" But you know what? They love it. Literal hysteria is like their caffeine, gets everyone buzzing. They treat him like he's a Bond villain, stroking a cat, plotting his world takeover. It's the same act every time. Outrage panels, headlines, endless breakdowns of what he meant. Yeah. Look, exaggeration is Trump's native tongue. When he says we're going to make America great again, it's a rallying cry, not a legal contract. But literal hysteria turns it into a grave threat to democracy, as if he's secretly trying to restore the Roman Empire. And what do you get? Hysteria. People start thinking he's literally about to build a wall made of lasers and declare himself emperor of the planet. Let's be honest. The media loves this crap. It's because outrage sells. Clicks are king, and literal hysteria makes people click, watch, and argue. So they run with it every time, blowing up the rhetoric until everyone's certain he's not just running for office. No, he's actively staging a coup. Every puffed up claim is treated like a signed manifesto. And then they sit there and wonder, gee, why is everyone so stressed out? Literal hysteria isn't just annoying. No, it's bad for all of us. Instead of actually talking about issues, we're busy decoding slogans like their secret messages. People end up terrified by hyperbole, thinking, he's going to do what? Instead of realizing it's more often just Trump painting a vision of his version of a vision board. The secret, if you will, Trump style. So here's the thing. We need to start treating Trump's language as what it is, salesmanship. You don't panic because your friend at the gym says, "I'm going to crush this workout." You don't call 911 over that. Let's not forget, Trump is a salesman first, a politician second, and a literal interpreter of his own words probably never. If we could all calm down and stop taking everything literally, maybe we'd all find the real conversation between the chaos. Literal hysteria has us all stuck in a cycle of outrage. You know who wins when we're all spinning? It's the same people who are selling us this hysteria in the first place. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffey Nuance Show, the most ignored, censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. So that is what we're talking about today, literal hysteria. And what this is the tendency to interpret hyperbolic or totally exaggerated statements as literal truths. Okay? And most of the time, this results in amplified reactions and misinterpretations, right? Misrepresentations as well. This phenomenon occurs when hyperbole is presented or believed as factual. And typically, this leads to everyone's having heightened emotions, sensationalized media coverage, public outrage. Literal hysteria often overlooks rhetorical purpose or context behind the exaggeration, favoring a direct, literal reading that can distort the intended message. That is the idea. That is the idea. Oh, I got to change the background here because we don't have. Let's make it a nice waterfall. See a nice waterfall. There we go. It's raining where I am. I don't know where it is where you are. But I just see this happening all over the place right now, and everybody's freaking out. In fact, I get text messages. Can you believe they're going to do this? Oh my God! What if Mitch McConnell? Oh, what if they? Stop! Everyone, just calm down, okay? Just calm down. The election's over. We can relax, okay? Nothing is going to happen for a while. Trump's going to pick his team. Let him pick his team. Just see what happens. There's no reason to get all excited, but I understand why, because we're seeing this hysteria everywhere. I mean, just put on The View. I don't think anybody on the right has not taken a peek as to how The View has been losing their minds this week, or last week. I didn't see them this morning, but I plan on it. And again, this is, a bunch of, I don't know, really dumb ladies acting like everything Trump says is literal. But here's the thing. You didn't take him seriously before, but now you are. Guess what? For the most part, the fans of Trump, they don't take him literally. They know that he's a salesman. He's just doing this. But this doesn't just involve Trump. This idea is feigning outrage, and sometimes it's actual outrage, by purpose, in my opinion, purposely misinterpreting what someone says. It goes back to the idea of The Secret, right? Manifesting things. Well, what you do is you put it out there. You put it out into the universe, right? Let's see. MLK, right? When he said he didn't get up there and he said, "Oh, I have a reasonable vision for the future." No, he said, "I have a dream. I have a dream." You put out something big, you shoot for the stars, and then you see how you can do, right? We all know this, right? This is how Oprah made $1 billion, was selling this idea that you manifest what you want. And you do that by exaggerating, by going above and beyond. And so I see this currently with the, we're going to deport 20 million people. You shoot big, and then you pull back. That's what Trump has done every single time. Have you not caught on to this yet? The wall. Did he make Mexico pay for it? No. But by exaggerating things, you're selling your vision. He's a salesman. That's what salespeople do. Have you ever bought a car? My God. It's amazing that people keep falling for this over and over and over again. And sometimes some really smart people fall for it as well. But I'm calling this idea literal hysteria, because they're taking something, making it literal, and then getting hysterical about it. Anyway, that's kind of the idea I wanted to talk about today. Yeah. That's kind of the idea that I wanted to talk about today. I was trying to think of some more examples of this. We just see this all the time. In fact, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, right? She's become a millionaire off of this idea. You take anything, make it literal. And that'll sell. That'll sell the outrage. Perhaps that's what I should do. Maybe I might get more than 6 people watching my live stream. I need to sell hysteria, because no one's buying calm and rational and nuanced. It doesn't seem to sell very well, at least not for me. Anyway, that's the idea I wanted to talk about today. That's about all I have. I know, kind of short and sweet, but stick around for the after show. I'll go through all your comments. And just a reminder that, if you did watch this show, you did get this prediction. I think it should be a landslide. And I believe that Trump should win every toss-up state. Okay. So just a reminder, if you didn't, we are on the road to 420 subs over there on Rumble. Honestly, if we keep growing the rate that we do, we'll reach 420 followers over there, perhaps by 2028. Maybe. But maybe I should change it to not 420 followers. Maybe I need to say 420,000. Right? 420. We're on the road to 420,000 subs. And perhaps we can do something with that. Lucid says, I'm already sick of the crying Dems that didn't get their way. They need to be told like children they are to stop crying, or we'll give them something to cry about. Okay. I don't know. Let people cry. I don't care. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream and share with a friend. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. Or an enemy, even. Yeah, perhaps. Literal literature. Did Kamala write that? Well, people seem to forget the opposite of literal, which is figurative, and they often say literal when figurative would be more accurate. Well, this is a prediction that I have made a couple years ago, and this will be true. The dictionary definition of things is based on how people use it. And because so many people, I would say often youth today, use literally to mean the opposite of literally, I believe that in the near future, literal will have a new definition, and that definition will be figurative. Yeah, that's going to happen because so many people misuse it that it just becomes the accepted way it just becomes accepted. Much like our pronunciation of something from Chile, right? The correct pronunciation is Chilean, right? But because some idiots back in the 70s mispronounced it and got it on a newscast wrong, they said Chilean. Now so many people say Chilean. If you look it up, that's now the American pronunciation for the word. Anyway, enough of that. Tom, your hair is too slicked down for you to look hysterical. Mess up the hair some. Yeah, I didn't really get didn't really. I don't know. I was out wearing a wool cap, not wool cap. I was wearing a beanie today out for my morning walk in the rain. So hair's a little wet. Apothecary John says, I double dog dare everyone in the chat to send a Tom video to a friend. Well, that would be nice. Then maybe we'll get a dozen views. Much like the ministry of truth is all about lies. That is also true. Now, it's interesting that apparently, it looks like your comments are not on the screen, but that's weird. That's weird. I did have a system crash prior to going live. I had to reset everything. But that's all I have for you today. This idea of the literal hysteria. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share it if you want. Whatevs. Who cares? But just calm down and relax. Maybe even take a break from politics for a while. Give it a little time. Nothing to get that excited about right now. Don't worry. The next crisis is right around the corner. Anyway, I'll be back. I'll see you on Wednesday. Until then, peace.